At number 10, Saweetie and Quavo. Singer Saweetie and rapper Quavo recently announced their breakup, and it was kind of messy. It first started with a simple heads-up tweet from Saweetie telling her followers that they had broken up, but shortly after, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. Though this footage was from a year ago, it gave people a look at how their relationship was at the time. Their feuding was only now brought to light as they were sort of exposed for being toxic. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from this incident, and Quavo clarifies that he never abused his girlfriend. Their breakup has caused some feuding within Quavo's family as well, making this an all-around unfortunate and toxic time for them. At number 9, Cardi B and Candace Owens. Just when we thought the WAP controversy was over, in walks Candace Owens to rehash it. After performing the song live at the Grammys, Cardi B was faced with WAP backlash again as Candace called her out for the imagery of the song and performance. She appeared on Fox News discussing the performance and calling it a, quote, attack on American values, saying that it was weakening American society and that the dancers that night were, quote, actively trying to make children aspire to things that are grotesque, end quote. This led to both women feuding on Twitter, taking jabs at one another, and really just making for a very toxic environment. Things could have just ended there, but then lawsuits became a threat. Candace tweeted saying that she would be suing Cardi over alleged screenshots that were shared, and Cardi threatened to countersue. There haven't really been many developments since then, but I hope that this online feud does not make it to the courts. At number 8, Lil Nas X and Candace Owens. Candace Owens really is out here feuding with everyone because she's not only fighting with Cardi, but she also has it out for Lil Nas X as well. Nas has been in the news recently for the backlash surrounding the satanic imagery from his Montero music video, and in response, Candace said that people like Nas are what's, quote, keeping Black America behind. When the singer saw what Candace had been saying about him, he clapped back at her, calling her a flop and reminding her how successful his music really is. In return, Candace tweeted saying, quote, yes, you successfully got used by corporations to help further destroy our youth. Congratulations on being a pawn in a game that you don't likely understand. We can take cheap shots on Twitter, or I can welcome you to have this discussion with me publicly because it matters, end quote. Candace is a very outspoken person, so it's not surprising that a feud like this would come about, but fans are still defending Nas no matter what, and the singer doesn't really seem to care about her opinion anyway. At number 7, Khloe Kardashian and the internet. Now this may not be the biggest feud out there, but it is definitely strange. Recently, Khloe found herself in a bit of a scandal after an unedited photo of her was accidentally posted to social media. The post was quickly circulated on the internet before being taken down, and Khloe has been trying to cover it all up since. She says that she's insecure about that photo because of how she's portrayed, and that she blames the internet and social media for the way that she sees herself, as she always has to look perfect. She's so serious about blocking this image from people that she's saying that she has every right to issue a lawsuit in order to get it taken down from the internet. Now she's feuding with the internet to take back this photo, as well as fans, because she blames them for the whole thing, saying that their pressures of the ideal appearance is what's leading her to such extreme lengths. At number 6, Clarissa Shields and Jake Paul. In my last celebrity feud video, I mentioned Jake Paul and his feud with Conor McGregor, but now there seems to be a new feud going on in the boxing world between Jake Paul and Clarissa Shields. It's again a little more one-sided, but a feud is a feud, and Jake is surprisingly not the one who started it. In a recent interview, Clarissa had some harsh words for Jake and his brother as she called them out for not being real boxers. In the interview, she said, quote, I think Jake Paul and his brother are more like clown shows, to be honest. But they're making money, they're using their platforms, but it's not real boxing, end quote. Clarissa also said that she could easily take Jake in a fight, as she said, quote, I would whoop Jake Paul's ass though, just because he thinks boxing is easy. Clarissa is an Olympic level athlete and Jake is a YouTuber, so I think when it comes to a fight, I'm on Team Clarissa. Jake has not yet responded to her comments, but I honestly wouldn't put it past him. At number 5, Winston Marshall. Sometimes the most devastating feuds are the ones between friends. The banjoist from the band Mumford & Sons, Winston Marshall, faced cancellation recently after he was called out for praising a book that, quote, condemns the destructive rise of Antifa. And this drama caused a huge rift and feud between him and the other members of the band. This all went down after he tweeted the author of the book, calling him a brave man for publishing this book and praising its content and views. As a result, tensions rose within the band because other members just couldn't get behind Winston's ideals. A source close to the band says that this bombshell greatly impacted the band, creating tension within the group. Things got so tense that an emergency band meeting was called where they discussed the matter and came to the conclusion that Marshall needed to take a step back. It was then announced that Marshall would be leaving the band and would be using his time off to, quote, examine his blind spots. After facing this backlash and being kicked out of the band, Marshall tweeted a series of apologies to everyone that he offended, saying that he understands that people, including many of his bandmates, have been hurt by his comments, and also saying, quote, for now, please know that I realize how my endorsements have the potential to be viewed as approvals of hateful, divisive behavior. I apologize as this was not my intention. Not much has been heard from him or the band on the matter, but no one really knows if he'll ever be welcomed back in the future. At number 4, JoJo Siwa and DaBaby. A couple of weeks ago, the internet had a wait, what kind of moment, as there was seemingly a feud going on between JoJo Siwa and rapper DaBaby. It all started when the rapper released his song Beatbox Freestyle, in which he says the lyrics, "You a B, JoJo Siwa." B as in the B word we're not allowed to say on YouTube. People were very confused because it seemed like there was some drama going on between the dancer and the rapper, because no one would just start a feud for no reason, right? Fans were left wondering what JoJo did to leave DaBaby so mad like that. JoJo Siwa feud started trending as people tried to scour the internet looking for the spark that started this flame. Some fans from both sides even started fighting because of this supposed feud. Well, it turned out that there was absolutely no beef whatsoever and people just got mad for no reason. But that's the internet and that kind of happens a lot. The rapper cleared things up when he clarified that he was talking about himself in the song. Since his real name is Jonathan, JoJo for short, and Siwa was interpreted as a twist on CY, that's why he mentioned the YouTuber in the song. To further clarify things, he tweeted JoJo saying, quote, my 3-year-old princess is your #1 fan. Don't let him trick you into ever thinking I have a problem with you. My wordplay just went over their heads. All love on my end, shorty. End quote. At number 3, Joe Rogan and Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas feuding with someone really isn't a new thing. I mean, she has a new beef with someone every week, but this time around she's feuding with someone that I honestly wasn't expecting. Comedian and podcaster Joe Rogan is next up to square up with Trisha Paytas, and it's all because of some comments that he made about her on his podcast about Trisha's appearance. On a recent episode of his podcast, Joe and guest Ali Makovsky were discussing Trisha Paytas and her OnlyFans, and when he was shown a photo of her in a bikini for reference, he quipped saying, quote, you can keep that. Well, Trisha caught wind of his comment and came firing back. She decided to clap back at Joe, saying that he has small pee-pee energy, and also went on to say, quote, there's a lot to come for me for, but to look at a photo of me in a bikini going, ugh, you can keep that, why? I've heard Joe Rogan is highly intelligent. Honestly, I look at that and I'm like, he has no intellect whatsoever. He can't come up with a wittier quip, and if you know I'm not your type, you don't have to say anything, end quote. People thought it was uncalled for Joe to make comments about Trisha's appearance, but what do you guys think? Joe is probably now on Trisha's radar, and I'm sure this won't be the last we hear from their feud. At number 2, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. With the recent divorce announcement from Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, we're beginning to see how their marriage cracked and crumbled, and how things are now. Though they had been putting on a brave face for a long time, it turns out that they had been feuding a lot. Things got so bad that they felt that their relationship was crumbling towards the end of last year, and they made the decision to seek different living arrangements, spending some time apart as a result of the, quote, downright toxicity in their marriage. The hope was to find a way to make things work, especially for their kids' sake, but according to sources, it reached a point where, quote, bickering turned into nasty blow-ups and confrontations. They tried to take some time apart as to not expose their kids to this kind of negativity, but their constant feuding became too much to handle. After Kanye reportedly blew up at Kim during a recent argument, they were never able to patch things up after that, and so they filed for divorce. Though they're trying to keep their divorces as private as possible, the Kardashians' testimonies on their show, as well as many sources coming forward, is making it kind of hard for their divorce to remain quiet. They're in a constant feud now as they separate themselves from each other, but I hope things don't get too chaotic for them. And finally, at number 1, Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle. Even though it's been several weeks since Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's bombshell interview, news news sources are still talking about it, and there's one person in particular who just won't let it go. Piers Morgan has been very vocal about their whole interview, especially regarding the things that Meghan had said. Though there has been a lot of scrutiny from many sides, Piers is almost the #1 person to go to for Meghan Markle's scrutiny. It's gotten to the point where you could call it a feud, even though it's more one-sided. Though in recent weeks, their feuding has been about the things that Meghan said in the interview, like her comments on her mental health. Apparently, this hate goes much deeper. Piers has been outspoken about Meghan ever since she ghosted him in 2016. After that, he's been talking about how she was, quote, prepared to cut people. He would make comments about her family and about her and Prince Harry's decision to leave the royal family, calling them, quote, the world's most tone-deaf, hypocritical, narcissistic, deluded, whiny brats. During the Oprah interview, Meghan opened up about her mental health, saying that there was once a point after marrying into the royal family that she wanted to take her own life, and Piers spoke out about this on Good Morning Britain and said that he, quote, didn't believe a word she said. After Piers made those comments, he started to face backlash as people condemned his comments on Meghan's mental health. Even though he's faced scrutiny, he refuses to take back anything he said, adding to this heated one-side feud with her.
In at number 10, Ray J. Kanye and Ray J have been in a long-running feud surrounding Ray J's former relationship with Kim Kardashian and their infamous adult tape. The feud reignited recently after Kanye claimed that he got a second copy of the tape from Ray J and saved Kim from that embarrassment. Kanye has also called out Ray J in a number of songs. In 2016, he rapped, quote, I bet me and Ray J would be close friends if we didn't like the same woman. Yeah, he might have hit it first, only problem is I'm rich. Allegations were made by Ray J's former manager, Wack 100, on a podcast that there was a part 2 of their tape that Ray J still owned. Both Kim and Ray J shot down these rumors, but they were brought up once again by Kanye. Kanye told Hollywood Unlocked, quote, I went and I got the laptop from Ray J myself that night. I met this man at the airport, then got on a red-eye flight, came back and delivered it to her at 8 a.m. in the morning. Ye went on to say that after he delivered the laptop to Kim, she cried when she saw the footage. However, it doesn't look like that's true, because Kim's team later clarified that there was no other unseen footage on the recently acquired tape, and Kanye was basically lying. Ray J also spoke out against Kanye, who unnecessarily brought up this frustrating topic once again. He wrote on Twitter, quote, this needs to stop, I also have kids. In at number 9, Drake. This is easily Kanye's most notorious feud that came to a head once again in 2021, during the recent release of both of their albums. Back in 2009, these two were friends and often spoke of how much they respected one another's work. But sadly, over time that started to change, and the pair started taking shady digs at one another, like when Drake started dating Amber Rose shortly after her and Kanye split. But things looked good once again in 2015, when they collaborated on a Big Sean song and even hinted at a collaboration album. But things got tense once again in 2018 when Pusha T released his diss track Infrared, which Kanye produced. The song accused Drake of having a ghostwriter. Then shortly after, Pusha dropped the story of Adidon, which exposed that Drake had a love child. The pair got into another feud when Drake seemingly referenced Kim Kardashian on one of his songs and did not deny the hookup rumors. Things were turned up once again in 2021 after Drake dissed Kanye on a song. In response, Kanye doxed Drake and shared the exact location of Drake's Toronto home. This resulted in both of their albums getting a ton of press for their releases. So honestly, maybe it was all for show. In at number 8, Travis Scott. This feud is even more awkward considering the family connection between Travis and Kanye. In 2018, Kanye dragged Travis into his long-standing feud with Drake. Travis had posted a selfie on Instagram wearing a Nike sweatshirt, which Kanye felt was a betrayal because Kanye had a business relationship with Adidas, who is a huge competitor of Nike's. The feud continued when Drake and Travis collaborated on Travis' hit song, Sicko Mode, and there are lyrics in the song about preferring checks over stripes, aka Nike's signature logo, to Adidas's, and this of course upset Kanye. Kanye later tweeted, quote, "How are you gonna be on Travis's song coming at me? Trav should have never allowed that." He later added, "Meeting with Trav tonight, bet it never be checks over stripes line again on a Travis song." Kylie later confirmed the feud had been settled when she tweeted, quote, "Everyone is good, moved on, living life. For anyone who wasn't aware, Travis has a deal with Nike and still does. Point is, it's all been talked out, it's only positive energy." And at number 7, Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig is best known as the lovable cartoon for kids, but she decided to throw some major shade Kanye's way after he released his highly anticipated album, Donda. Pitchfork initially rated Peppa Pig's sophomore album, Peppa's Adventures, the album, a 6.5 in 2021, while the site gave Kanye West only a 6 for his album Donda. So it's clear from these numbers, Peppa is the better artist, right? She thought so too and decided to inform Kanye about her album rating on Twitter. Peppa's team wrote, quote, Peppa didn't need to host listening parties in Mercedes-Benz Stadium to get that .5, showing pictures comparing both of their pitchfork scores. The internet was set ablaze by this tweet, and everyone could not believe that Peppa would call out Kanye like that. Shockingly, Kanye did not respond to this callout, even though he responds to almost everything said about him. Honestly, I'm not sure how he would even respond to those cold hard facts. And at number 6, Jay-Z. This feud is really sad because beforehand Kanye and Jay-Z were incredibly close and would even consider themselves to be family. But after Kanye had one too many outbursts, Jay felt it was best for him to no longer have Kanye in his life. Some tension between the two developed when Jay-Z did not attend Kanye's wedding to Kim Kardashian. Then during his Pablo tour, Kanye lashed out at Jay-Z on stage. He said, quote, "Don't call me after the robbery and say, how are you feeling? You wanna know how I'm feeling? Come by the house. Bring the kids by the house like we're brothers, let's sit down." Jay-Z clapped back on album 444, where he rapped, quote, "I know people backstab you, I feel bad too, but this F everybody attitude ain't natural. But you ain't the same, this ain't kumbaya, but you got hurt because you did kumbaya. You gave him 20 million without blinking. He gave you 20 minutes on stage, F was he thinking." Exposing that he gave Kanye $20 million when he was broke. Halfway number 5, Taylor Swift. We all know about the epic feud between Taylor and Kanye that has only gotten worse with time. It all started on September 13th of 2009 at the VMAs. Taylor went up to accept her award when Kanye ran up on stage, stole the mic, and said, quote, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." This horrible decision led to the decade-long feud. The next day, Kanye apologized, but then later rescinded this apology, claiming he'd been forced into this apology. After a few years of no drama, the pair seemed to be friendly again. But that all changed when Kanye dropped his Life of Pablo. In the song Famous, Kanye referenced Taylor, saying they might still sleep together and calling her the B-word. Amid public outcry, Kanye's wife, Kim Kardashian, posted videos of Taylor and Kanye discussing the song, with the latter sounding like she approved it. After a year of disappearance in August of 2017, Taylor responded with the track Look What You Made Me Do. The pair's fans still fight over who was wrong in this situation, but it's clear this feud will never be resolved. And at number 4, Amber Rose. The public feud that Kanye had with his ex, Amber Rose, has to be the messiest because a lot of family secrets were exposed. It all started in 2008 when the couple started seeing each other. The pair were together for 2 years before splitting in 2010. Tensions really started brewing when she dated Wiz Khalifa right after, and they ended up getting married. After they split, Tyga started dating Kylie Jenner, which means nothing until you learn that China and Amber Rose are best friends. So Amber was involved in the feud with the Kar-Jenner family. Then Kanye went on The Breakfast Club and said about Amber Rose, quote, "It's very hard for a woman to be with a man who's dated Amber," and apparently he had to take 30 showers before he got with Kim. Kanye also discussed Tyga's relationship with Kylie and said he thought Tyga got in early and that Tyga was smart. Amber responded by tweeting the craziest thing I've ever seen, quote, "Aw, Kanye West, are you mad I'm not playing around in your anymore? Hashtag fingers in the." So very, very messy stuff. Later, Amber admitted that she regretted those tweets. And at number 3, Pete Davidson. Since Kim has started publicly dating Pete Davidson following her divorce from Kanye, Kanye's latest target is Pete. Because it's clear that Kanye wants Kim back and Pete is now standing in the way. In a track released last week by West and The Game, Ye rapped, quote, "God save me from that crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's," referring to his 2002 car crash. Kanye also trashed Kim during an interview, saying, quote, "How you gonna bring me to SNL then kiss the dude you're dating right in front of me?" But apparently Pete is not worried over the threats and thinks they are hilarious. A source said, quote, "Pete thinks it's totally hilarious. Not just that, he thinks the whole tabloid drama with him, West, and Kardashian is hilarious. He loves it." Apparently the newfound feud with Kanye has even brought Pete and Kim closer together. Pete also just confirmed that Kim is his girlfriend. And at number 2, 50 Cent. Yet another rapper Kanye has feuded with was 50 Cent. It started back in 2007 when Kanye changed the release date of his upcoming album to be the exact same as 50 Cent's, Very Shady. Originally it was supposed to drop on September 18th, but Kanye moved it up 1 week to be on the 11th. Graduation sold close to 1 million units and easily beat out 50 Cent, who only sold 691,000 copies. This was a huge moment in Kanye's career, and many say this moment he officially became the king of rap. At that time, 50 Cent said he would never release a solo album again if Graduation beat out Curtis, but when it did, he did not keep his promise, and he's released multiple albums since. Then in 2019, 50 Cent stirred up more trouble by making fun of Kanye's clothing line, saying, quote, "What in the spare some change type is this?" And finally at number 1, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake and Kanye got into a strange feud after Kanye accused Timberlake of crying after he didn't win a Grammy. While he was speaking at the 2015 MTV VMAs, Kanye spoke of a moment that they had at the Grammys. He said, quote, "I sat at the Grammys and saw Justin Timberlake and CeeLo Green lose. And bro, Justin, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but I saw that man in tears. And I was thinking he deserved to win Album of the Year. In the small box that we are of entertainers of the evening, how could you explain that?" Some fans supported Kanye's comments, because he did compliment Timberlake by saying that he should have won Album of the Year, although many felt he put Timberlake on blast. Timberlake then gave a shady response to this speech, writing on Twitter, quote, "Kanye is so cute, y'all." But after a lot of backlash from Kanye's fans, Timberlake later tweeted in support of Kanye. And at number 10, Pete Davidson and Kanye West. So we all assumed that these two must hate each other, but we got confirmation of this when Kanye shared private screenshots between him and Pete on Instagram. After Kanye had attacked both Kim and Pete online for weeks now, Pete finally decided to stand up for himself and Kim and tried to talk to Kanye man to man about the situation. Leaked text showed Pete telling Kanye, quote, "Yo, it's Skeet, can you please take a second and calm down? It's 8 AM, it don't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best mother I've ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing and you're so effing lucky that she's your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore and I'm done being quiet." Kanye then responded, "Oh, so you're using profanity now? Where are you right now?" Pete then pulled something nobody would have expected and responded by sharing a selfie of him in bed, then writing, "In bed with your wife." It's clear that this feud is most likely only going to get messier until Kanye and Kim are officially divorced. And at number 9, Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian. Scott Disick was savagely exposed in 2021 for being a jealous ex. It was pretty clear to fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that Scott was never over Kourtney since their split, but it was made clear when private DMs leaked that showed that Scott was trashing Kourtney's new relationship with Travis Barker. After paparazzi photos showed Kourtney and Travis showing tons of PDL while on a trip to Italy, Scott DM'd Eunice Benjima, another one of Kourtney's ex-boyfriends who isn't even close with him or the family, and wrote, quote, "Yo, is this chick okay? Bro, like what is this? In the middle of Italy?" Clearly trying to initiate a conversation where they both trash Kourtney. But to everyone's surprise, even though it seems that Kourtney and Eunice ended things badly, Eunice did not trash Kourtney and he responded, quote, "Doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro." Eunice shared this whole conversation publicly, so it made things even more awkward between Scott and Kourtney. Shortly after this, Scott's girlfriend at the time, Amelia Hamlin, dumped him, and now Travis and Kourtney are madly in love and engaged. And at number 8, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick starred in the hit movie A Simple Favor together, and it's long been rumored that during the filming of that movie, the women hated each other. The feud was so bad that the studio executives had to get involved and mediate the tension between the women. In a TikTok, the page Celebrity Memoir Book Club claimed that when filming wrapped on the movie, Lively and Kendrick were not speaking, adding, quote, "They were basically enemies and their press tours had to be booked separately." The page even shared a private DM they received showing a studio exec at Lionsgate confirming basically everything the previous post said. This DM read, quote, "They hated each other. The studio even had to have a talk with them about making it look like they liked each other on press tours because it was starting to get obvious. Anna in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake, and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's." So from this comment, it seems that Anna Kendrick might have been the reason for this feud, but either way it was nasty. And at number 7, Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice. These ladies have allegedly been feuding since they were teens, filming Nickelodeon's Victorious. The most notable moment that alluded to a feud happened during an interview with the 4 female leads of Victorious, which featured Grande, Justice, Liz Gillies, and Daniela Monet. During the Popstar magazine interview video, the cast members played a game, but they said things about one another that fans might not know. During this interview, Gillies gushed about Grande's singing voice, telling the publication, quote, "She sings everything, and it's a good thing because she has a beautiful voice, but it's awesome. She sings absolutely everything, she never stops." When other members of the cast agreed, Justice looked annoyed and interrupted the conversation by saying, quote, "I think we all sing a lot," while appearing to roll her eyes, which is obviously downplaying the compliment that was supposed to be for Ariana. Years later, Ariana threw some more shade by claiming Victorious ended because one girl did not want to do it anymore. She instead wanted a solo tour, and since Justice went on a solo tour after the show ended, it was clearly about her. However, both women claim there is no beef, although many don't believe it. And at number 6, Abhishek Sheikh Chatterjee and Nick Lachey. This is a strange one, but the Love is Blind cast member Sheikh got in a feud with the host of the show, show Nick Lachey. Shay got in trouble for focusing too much on the appearance of his partner and claiming that he was not attracted to her. Things got heated at the reunion when Shay said attraction was about, quote, nature, and saying that they're animals. Lachey fired back at the veterinarian saying, quote, no, you treat animals. We're human beings. There's a big difference. Shay then slammed Nick in a post on Instagram, writing, quote, you put a doctor on the show, of course you're going to see some critical thinking. Speaking of which, Nick Lachey, you're a massive for your comment dragging vets. You do realize that becoming a veterinarian is considerably more difficult than becoming a human doctor, right? He also slammed the host for not being impartial like a host should be. Halfway number 5, Khloe Grace Moretz and Khloe and Kim Kardashian. During Kim and Kanye's 2016 feud with Taylor Swift, Khloe Grace Moretz got involved and Khloe Kardashian took a nasty low blow. After Kim released a video on Snapchat of Kanye West discussing his famous song with Taylor, Khloe Grace Moretz tweeted to defend Swift from the accusation that she lied about not knowing about the song before it was released. Moretz said, quote, stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant. Everyone in this industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around to realize what's actually happening in the real world. Then Khloe Kardashian jumped in to defend her sister Kim, tweeting back, quote, is this the hole you're referring to? Khloe Grace Moretz. Then adding a picture that seemingly showed Moretz's bare Moretz clapped back that the girl in the photo was not her, and tons of celebrities came to Moretz's defense against this nasty clapback. Kim also tweeted that nobody had any idea who Khloe Grace Moretz was. Yikes. And at number 4, Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus. Nicki Minaj had everyone on edge when she took the time during her 2015 VMA acceptance speech to call out host Miley Cyrus. The call out was because Miley made some negative comments about her in the press. While accepting the award for Best Hip Hop Video at the MTV VMAs, Nicki Minaj finished it off by saying, quote, and now back to this bee that had a lot to say about me in the press the other day. Miley, what's good? Miley actually handled it very well and quickly congratulated Nicki on the win and said the media twisted her words. Miley's original comments were relating to Nicki's feud with Taylor Swift. In that interview, Miley called out Nicki for not being very nice, which I guess she kind of proved at this award show. But can you imagine being called out live like that? Miley is my hero for settling it like a champ. And at number 3, Solange and Jay-Z. This 2014 elevator incident is one of the most legendary of all time because it shows never to mess with the Knowles family. After the Met Gala in 2014, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange stepped into an elevator, and when Solange thought nobody else was watching, she started to attack Jay-Z, hitting him with her hands and purse multiple times, while Beyonce just stood there and watched, making it clear that whatever she was doing was supported by his wife, Beyonce. After Beyonce admitted that Jay cheated on her album Lemonade, it's clear that this is when Solange found out about the cheating, and that's how she decided to take out her anger. Jay-Z opened up about the incident in 2017, saying he and Solange are totally fine now and he views her as his sister. So thankfully this incident did not cause long-term damage. In at number 2, Drake and Pusha T. This feud is so messy it started all the way back in 2011 and some could say it's still not over. It all started when Drake released the song Dreams Money Can Buy in 2011 with verses that many thought contained disses aimed at Pusha T. This started a flood of diss tracks between the two, with both rappers taking clear shots at the other. The two kept trading diss tracks for a few years until 2018 when Pusha T released the single Infrared, which allegedly accused Drake of not writing his own raps. Even though many on Drake's team have denied this, the rumor stuck, and many people to this day still claim that Drake has ghostwriters. But it did not stop. The biggest hit to Drake's rep came from the next diss track, The Story of Adidon, which not only accused Drake of having a secret child, but the cover art also showed young Drake in. As of now, the feud has settled and the pair no longer make diss tracks about one another, but I'm sure there's still a lot of tension. And finally, at number 1, Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. As a huge fan of Sex and the City, this feud hurts my heart and I really wish they could have made up so Samantha would have been in the reboot. Probably would have made it a lot better. Rumors of tension between the women didn't start until the show ended, and Parker shaded Cattrall by saying she was the reason the third Sex and the City movie was not made. Later on, rumors swirled that the movie was scrapped just days before filming due to Kim Cattrall's refusal to sign on unless Warner Brothers produced other projects that she had in development. Later on in an interview, Kim said that SJP, quote, really could have been nicer about everything, hinting at tension between them. But things were turned up a notch when Cattrall's brother passed away in 2018 and Parker shared her condolences on Instagram. Kim Cattrall did not like this seemingly fake response and clapped back, quote, you are not my family, you are not my friend. So I'm ready to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona. As of now, the feud is clearly not resolved and the tension is why Samantha is not in the HBO Max reboot, and just like that.